Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A Rockford murder suspect takes the stand in his defense. We have a live report from the Winnebago County Courthouse on Raheem King's second day on trial.
The state's Capitol buildings getting redecorated. The monuments coming down in response to calls for social justice.
And witnessing history, tonight's Democratic National Convention will feature something that's never happened before.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. It's day 2 for the murder trial of Raheem King.
The 24-year-old is accused of killing 3 men on a charter bus near Auburn and Johnston Avenue back in April 2018. The prosecution finished its case yesterday. Today, the defense delivered its arguments. Dylan Siraki's been in the courtroom all day. He joins us now live. And Dylan, King actually took the stand this afternoon.
Eric and Mimi, that's right. King's defense is making the case that he was trying to act in self-defense. Earlier in the bench trial, prosecutors questioned whether the victims were actually armed at all. But King testified 2 of the men pointed guns at him after he walked onto the bus with his rifle. King said he was scared and panicked and says he opened fire to keep him and his family safe. King says everything happened in a matter of seconds and argued that anyone would be scared for their safety after having 2 guns pointed in their direction.
Were they friends of yours? Yes. Prior to the events of April 6th and 7th, was there any hostility between you and the victims, Mr. Blake, Mr. Sistrunk, or Mr. Anderson?
No.
Okay. So in other words, these are all your good friends?
Yes.
The trial is ongoing, with more witnesses expected to take the stand. It's not clear if a verdict will be handed out today. Reporting live in Rockford for your home team, I'm Dylan Siraki.
Dylan, thanks for the live report.
Guns are recovered after a group of teens leads police on a separate car chase, 3 of them Monday night. Around 10 p.m., officers saw 3 cars, a dark sedan, a Honda Civic, and a Honda Odyssey following each other and making U-turns near School and Kilburn Streets. Police say multiple shots were fired from 2 of the cars at a group of people walking on School Street. All 3 vehicles sped off. The Honda Civic crashed into 2 other cars at Auburn Street and Ridge Avenue. Officers arrested the passenger, Whitney Tate, at the scene. Canines found the driver at a house nearby. 3 guns were found inside the Civic, which was stolen out of Huntley. Police caught up with the Honda Odyssey, which was also stolen, on South Central Avenue near Preston Street. The car was stopped by a passing train. The driver jumped out, leaving it in drive. The vehicle drove forward and was hit by the train. The driver and passenger were arrested. All 4 face a number of theft and weapons charges. The 3rd car got away. Rockford's Police Chief Dan O'Shea released a statement on what he's calling a local crisis. O'Shea said, quote, "We are continuing to see an increase in gunfire incidents at an alarming rate. To date, we've recovered more than 2,000 shell casings from gunfire incidents since March." He added, "It's just a matter of time before an innocent person is struck by indiscriminate gunshots." 15 people have been murdered this year in Rockford. 13 were shot to death.
Some Rockford streets are getting fixed up thanks to a state grant. $1.9 million are going towards the Opportunity Zone projects. The bridge on Seminary Street over Keith Creek is one of the upgrades. Those state grants and federal funds are paying for it. A century-old water main will be replaced on Seminary and Gregory Streets, too. That will run from Bear, Iron, and Metal to College Avenue on Seminary and from 3rd to Seminary on Gregory Street. The grants are from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Rockford isn't the only state line city getting an upgrade. Dixon has state money on the way to fix up its roads as well. More than $1.7 million is going to the city. It's part of the Rebuild Illinois Capital Plan. Dixon's street reconstruction is one of 27 development projects to receive funds.
Illinois sees its highest new case number since the Safer at Home order was lifted. Just under 2,300 people have tested positive for COVID-19. That's the highest single-day total since May. More than 211,000 people have caught the virus since the outbreak began. 25 more people have died. The state's death toll is now over 7,800. The 7-day positivity rate for the state of Illinois is at 4.4%. That's a slight increase from yesterday's rate of 4.3%. State health officials say that rate has been trending in the wrong direction for the last 4 weeks.
We moved into phase 4, things opened up more, and guess what's happening? The numbers are going up. So now we're trying a more scalpel-like approach, right, to make sure that we're providing mitigations within regions.
At the beginning of August, Winnebago County was on the list of counties at the warning level for a rise in COVID numbers. It has since been removed.
A pair of controversial statues on the grounds of the Illinois State Capitol will come down. The board of the Office of the Architect of the Capitol voted to remove monuments of Stephen Douglas and early settler Pierre Menard. Both men profited from slavery. No hard deadline was set, but both should be removed in the next few months. A statue of Martin Luther King Jr. will also be moved to a more prominent place on the grounds. The conversation to eliminate the statues began after House Speaker Michael Madigan called for it. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle supported the call. Ogle County voters have a new option to make sure their November vote counts. The county's installed a secure ballot drop-off box. It's located at the Ogle County Courthouse in Oregon. Anyone can use the box who doesn't want to vote in person on Election Day and who doesn't want to mail their ballot. The Ogle County Clerk and Recorder says ballots put into the drop box will be collected twice a day.
The Democratic National Convention's third night will go down in the history books.
Senator Kamala Harris is expected to accept the Democratic vice presidential nomination. That will make her the first black woman on a major party ticket. Anna Warnicki has a preview as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
The third night of the Democratic National Convention is all about Joe Biden's second in command, Senator Kamala Harris.
I am incredibly honored by this responsibility, and I'm ready to get to work.
Biden's deputy campaign manager, Kate Bedingfield, says when Harris takes the stage on Wednesday, she'll be making history as the first woman of color on a major party ticket.
What she really hopes tonight is that people will see themselves in her speech.
Bedingfield says the night will showcase Harris and what her role will be in the White House.
She will set out a vision for a more inclusive nation in which everyone is welcome and given equal opportunity.
Kamala Harris is a good friend of mine.
Michigan Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow says she'll be cheering as Harris officially accepts the vice presidential nomination because she knows the country will be in good hands.
One of the first things she did was come and sit down with me and say, talk to me about the auto industry. Talk to me about auto workers. Tell me what's important. Tell me what you need in Michigan.
And while Harris will headline the night, other high-profile speakers will deliver remarks on the theme, a more perfect union, including President Barack Obama and former Secretary of State and 2016 candidate Hillary Clinton. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
While Democrats tune into their convention, the current administration is on the campaign trail. Today's stop is about an hour away from DNC headquarters. Vice President Mike Pence landed in Janesville this morning. The VP spoke at the Tankcraft Corporation in Darien, Wisconsin. The Trump administration's efforts on getting Americans back to the workforce is the topic of choice. This is the White House's second trip to Wisconsin this week. President Trump held a campaign event in Oshkosh Monday.
More State Line students, teachers, and staff return to the classroom.
There are fewer students than in years past. About 150 kids chose to stay home and learn remotely. Inside Lutheran, everyone was in masks and furniture was removed from classrooms to allow students to be more socially distant. The school also installed machines that better circulate air. School administrators say it's the start of a new world for education.
We're going to customize education. We're going to get more ownership for kids. Parents are going to become stakeholders and teachers are going to be facilitators. We've changed our approach to education. We're not accommodating the virus. We're making a change.
Coming up at 6, we'll hear from a Rockford Lutheran student as they share their first day back experience.
A local library works with the community to encourage kids and families to read. Rockford Public Library launched its storybook walk at Sinisippi Gardens. Portions of The Bird Watchers by Simon James are installed at stations throughout the park. 5 more books are displayed around the city. A local book club paid for the project. As long as the weather cooperates, the storybook walks will be up through October.
With all of our in-person reading events canceled because of the pandemic, it was really important that we gave young ones an opportunity to have an activity, a literacy-based activity that would help to develop their love of reading and their love of books.
You can find a complete list of books and locations at mystateline.com.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Lots of sunshine out there this afternoon. A live look with our Mercy Sky Track camera now over downtown Rockford. Just a couple of fair weather cumulus clouds. Those really kind of fading away here as we go through the remainder of this evening, which again will set the stage for a fairly quiet night tonight and another cool one as well. Now, as high pressure continues to remain in place across the Great Lakes, there's actually a weak little system working in from the northwest, moving in across the upper Midwest. You see that with the cloud cover and a few showers associated with that. As it moves into the drier air, that rainfall kind of drying up just a bit, but that disturbance will come through during the overnight and may provide us with just a few clouds as we head during the overnight hours. It was a chilly start this morning. Look at some of these lows dipping into the upper 40s in some spots, from Freeport to Rochelle, 48 degrees. We bottomed out at 53 here in Rockford, DeKalb, and 58 the low temperature up in Monroe. We've warmed nicely though, some places 30+ degrees here this afternoon. 79 in Monroe, 78 in Freeport, 82 in Rockford. That's the same temperature our weather watcher Bob is checking in with here this evening, as that dew point number is in the 50s. That dew point number key because it means we've got a pretty dry atmosphere in place, as indicated by the relative humidity for most within that 40 to 45% range. And when you have an atmosphere that's a little bit more dry than an atmosphere that has more moisture, you're actually able to heat up more efficiently during the day. And we tend to see that a little bit more during our transitional seasons, or as we get closer to that transitional season. That diurnal range from where you start off at in the morning to where you end up at in the afternoon can oftentimes be fairly significant. And that's because all those air molecules that are around in a dry atmosphere able to heat up a little bit more efficiently, move around more, and able to warm those temperatures. Now, when you have an air mass that has more moisture, say on those really muggy days, you don't get quite that range from the morning into the afternoon. So your temperature spread might not be quite as great. We will continue with that dry atmosphere, which means another night of temperatures in the 50s and then warming back into the mid 80s for tomorrow afternoon. High temperature tomorrow near 85 underneath a partly cloudy sky. Might see a little more cloud cover tomorrow than what we had for today, as that wind continues to work in from the southwest. It'll pull in just a bit more instability, and we'll see just a bit more moisture for tomorrow afternoon. But we are going to stay dry. You've got rain down to the south and up to the north, but none of that impacts us. Our earliest we could see some showers, and that's a big could. Might be Saturday night and then into Sunday. Let's talk temperatures now as we go through tomorrow night. Down to 60, up to 86 on Friday. Warming up towards the end of the week. Saturday up to 88. Cold front comes closer to us on Sunday, so that might bring us just a slight chance, but it lifts back north as a warm front early next week. And temperatures, guys, back up near the 90s, which could cause some problems already as we continue to stay dry.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Fred VanVleet keeps making it harder and harder for the Toronto Raptors not to make him a max contract offer after the season when he becomes a free agent. He keeps playing like a max player. He did again in Game 2 today of the Raptors-Nets playoff series. In the second quarter, he'll get the driving layup here and draw the foul. And that created a spark because the Raptors, they'd gotten off to a slow start. Fred's going to have a little commentary to go with that hoop there. He's liking that. Later in the second, he measures a 30-footer for three and nails it. He had 8 points and 5 assists at halftime. To the second half now, and VanVleet will attack the basket. Gets another lay-in to go. Everything is underneath or from behind the arc for Fred, nothing in between. Here's another one from behind the arc. He scored 14 in the third quarter. VanVleet again led the Raptors with a game-high 24 points, 10 assists, plus he had 5 rebounds. And the Raptors won 104-99. Well, it's all about next season for the Blackhawks now. Their season came to an end last night with a 4-3 loss to the Golden Knights. The Blackhawks won only one of the 5 games that were played in this series. There were some bright spots in the postseason that they can hang their hats on, like the play of Kirby Dach, Matthew Highmore, and Dominic Kubalik, and veterans Duncan Keith and Jonathan Taves showing they still have something left in the tank.
I think our depth guys played amazing. I think they really stepped up, and a lot of these young guys playing for the first time in the playoffs did some amazing things. So
it's just nice to see us improve and take that step. There's more to come, and we got to use this experience to improve and understand the standard that we need to get to beat a team like this.
This is the Cubs-Cardinals rivalry times 2 again today at Wrigley. Another doubleheader between them. First game, Matt Carpenter launches one off Alec Mills for a grand slam and gave the Cardinals a 4-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Later in the top of the fourth, the Cardinals up 5-1. Paul Goldschmidt here knocks a single to right. Colton Wong scored to extend the lead. Cardinals went on to win Game 1 9-3. The second game has just gotten underway. Adbert Alzolay is pitching for the Cubs. They are scoreless in the first inning. And the White Sox host the Tigers again tonight. The Sox will be going for their 4th straight win.
Beautiful evening ahead underneath a mostly clear sky. We'll see a couple of clouds move in during the overnight. Could also see a little patchy fog. Temperatures down around 58, 85 tomorrow, 86 on Friday. Warming up, limited rain chances for the weekend. Temperatures near 90s next week.
Lots of blue skies, been beautiful. Thanks, Candace.
Stay safe.